What's up guys, it's Manga Time once again. I'm here today to bring you my review of Bleach 589, The Shooting Star Project, Old and New Truths. Finally, a chapter that's not called The Headless Star. So the fact that The Headless Star ended at 7 and didn't go all the way to the Soul King makes me think that it was in fact referencing what I thought it was originally, which is simply Uryu leaving the group. Nothing really more than that. And I'm kind of glad that this has happened because I kind of associate those long, like Deicide, because of Deicide now with the end of an arc. So the fact that we've now swapped back to regular titles kind of makes me think, yeah, the arc's still got quite a way to go yet. And we still haven't had the closing chapter part 2, so I'm kind of thinking that'll be a long way away. If you remember, closing chapter part 1 was 494 when the Quincy invaded the very first moment, and they obliterated Kira. But anyway, damn you early chapters messing with my schedule. Not that I mind too much. I mean, sorry it's so late, I was at work, but frankly I'll be at work tomorrow as well, so oh well. Anyway, it starts off with actually Ichigo and the gang, and apparently there is a Kukaku crane in the middle of the 12th Division. That is so convenient. Like, seriously, I like Urahara, but he's an extremely convenient character. He's like a walking plot device. And this is a little bit annoying because I was really hoping that Ichigo and the guys would go to the Shibas, meet Ginjo and everyone like that. That'd have been awesome. But no, there's apparently a cannon in the middle of the 12th Division. But anyway, apparently the moment the 0 Division came down, Mayuri realised the need to go back up again at a moment's notice, so he started building it. So it has taken them a little while because apparently Urahara only started putting the finishing touches on it when he arrived. So, not that long ago. Basically, quite a little bit of banter back and forth. Ichigo's like, oh, Mayuri's amazing, but he's still a freak. And there's a funny little bit of rivalry between Urahara and Mayuri, and Urahara's like, he's a genius, but he's not as good as I am. So that's kind of funny. But apparently Urahara states that the cannon will collapse after one shot. Now, whether this is foreshadowing the cannon not working for whatever reason, I doubt it somehow. What I think it's possibly foreshadowing is it's going to be difficult for Ichigo and the others to get potential reinforcements in the Royal Realm, which then might lead to the Fullbringers. But, they're not likely to be shooting the Fullbringers up to the Royal Realm anytime soon. Anyway, Urahara says that they still don't have enough energy to actually fire the cannon. But then Akon arrives, sporting some pretty awesome looking shades, and he basically tells Urahara that the person he mentioned has finished their job. Being nice and vague so that we have no idea who it was. Immediately I thought it was Grimjo, because why wouldn't I? Because Urahara said that they had some kind of agreement. I thought maybe they had some kind of job. The manga stream version does delineate them as a her, so that changes that a bit. Anyway, inside the cannon, they have a nice little awkward moment between the three friends. Chad's like, Ichigo, I didn't know where to bring this up, but what do you think? And Ichigo's like, what do I think about what? And Chad's like, Orihime's clothes. And she's just sitting there with basically her boobs hanging out. And this is so great because it's a fourth wall little thing that... Because everyone thought that Orihime looked ridiculous, and now they're actually bringing it up in verse. So Ichigo, being the series' biggest virgin, he's basically like, and he kind of looks over at Orihime and he's like, then he just kind of... It's really funny, because then Orihime just blushes like crazy, and they're both just kind of like, Chad, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Like, both trying to ignore it. And then Ichigo kind of goes, I think it's a little bit too revealing. And he's like so super, super awkward about it. And then Orihime starts to think that Ichigo thinks she's a pervert, basically, and that she's revealing too much, and she thinks he thinks she's disgusting. Basically, she tries to cover herself up, and she's like, you're wrong. Urahara told me that you like it. And so basically Urahara starts winding her up. Then all of a sudden, this hand comes out of nowhere, pretty much, and it's actually Yoruichi, which is cool. She's got like a new get-up. She's got the Huecamundo kind of sand cloak on. And, this is cool. This is the first time we've seen Yoruichi this arc, which is a criminally long time. It's actually really weird when you think about it. Like, the Soul Society arc, Yoruichi was one of the main characters, and then she just vanished. Basically vanished. But yeah, so she arrives, she slaps Ichigo, and, she's like, what are you talking about? Why are you saying this sort of thing to her? Why are you being so horrible? And it's a really nice kind of parallel to just how useless Ichigo is with girls, because if you remember back when in the Aranka arc, and Nell saying like, "Why are you saying she's heavy? You should just get on with it." So it's nice to see that Orihime has been the butt of Ichigo's obliviousness twice now. Anyway, they get down to business, and Urahara asks Yoruichi if she's brought the goods. She opens her cloak. It's kind of seedy, really. She's like, "Want to buy some? Want to buy some? I don't know, whatever the hell she's got. She's got loads of little bottles." Now this is interesting. This is actually, I think this is interesting. I think a lot of people are going to kind of scoot over this bit, but I kind of feel like it's going to have some massive ramifications. Basically, they go back to the very beginning of the arc, literally the second chapter of the arc, when Hiyori saw that distortion in the world. And as we all expected, that was created by the Quincy's disrupting the place and damaging the balance. Now, apparently, that distortion in the world, the amount of energy that is released is just massive. And it's enough energy to connect two worlds. Now, Urahara says this all shadily. Ichigo's like, "Oh my god." But I kind of think like the kind of revelation is lost a little bit, because I don't think it's immediately obvious what they're talking about. Now, it's possible that Urahara's getting at a couple of things here, and it's also probably very obvious, and I'm just kind of missing it. Now, one, this is how Yaharvark and the rest of them got to the Royal Realm, just by the energy transfer taking them to a different world. And two, it's possible that it's possible that Urahara is insinuating that there are some Quincy elsewhere, like they've gone to the human world. So I think it's a little unclear, or he's literally just saying like this is the passage between worlds. But then I just don't understand why it'd be such a big deal. So I think it's possibly this is how they got to the Royal Realm. But then again, maybe it's not. Let me know in the comments below what you think is going on in this scene. But it's also really weird that the spirit energy has been bottled as a liquid. We have never seen that before. So basically, you can transform Reiatsu into petrol. So yeah, that's kind of odd actually. But basically, they're going to use that energy to power up the cannon and fire them into the Royal Realm. So they're actually heading to the palace a lot earlier than I thought they would. But I'm almost expecting them to get beaten up and then kind of sent back. Maybe not sent back, because that would be a lot of back and forth, but then it is Kubo, so it could happen, I think. Anyway, we then cut scenes back to Ikkaku and Yumichika, and they have a pretty cool panel of the both of them silhouetted against an explosion. And basically, Ikkaku's like, she's got an infinite amount of bombs, because obviously they're fighting the resurrected Bambietta Bastarbine. And Yumichika, proving himself to be quite the deducer once again, realizes that her bombs aren't causing the explosions, but the bombs are imbuing things with explosions. And Kubo seems to have got rid of Yumichika's braid. He seems to have kind of reverted his hairstyle back to normal. Anyway, Yumichika basically says that because of this, we can't use Hazukimaru. We can't use them to smack the bombs back at her. So Ikkaku just decides to leap at her, and there's actually some really nice choreography here. This is really cool. Ikkaku basically turns and he runs, and we get a nice bit of teamwork. And Yumichika uses a new Kido, which is always very nice, Hado 57, Daichi no Tenyo, which apparently means revolving dance of the earth, which is awesome. So we get this really awesome shot of Yumichika on the ground, and he's lifting up rocks, basically, and flinging them towards Bambietta. And Ikkaku's like trying to get there as well. And basically, Bambietta throws bombs at them, and the rocks from the Kido hit the bombs. At first, I thought he was teleporting Ikkaku, but no, he's not. Anyway, Ikkaku stabs Bambietta basically through the throat, Urahara style. It comes out the back of her head. But then all of a sudden, she's beside Ikkaku, grabs his face, and tries to blow it up. Luckily for him, Yumichika's there in time, and he cuts off her arm. Really nice action, and it's just kind of quite fast. So then we get this kind of creepy-ass panel where Giselle is just holding Bambietta's arm, and she's like, no matter what you can't do, Bambietta's already dead. Bambietta blows them to hell, basically. Ikkaku and Yumichika are down, predictably, as we kind of expected. But, you know, Giselle basically explains what happened back in, I want to say 558? Anyway, after the Komamura fight, when Bambietta was like, no, don't do it, don't do it. As we all called, Giselle finished her off. She killed Bambietta and turned her into a zombie, which is dark, man. Like, why would she do that? Because surely they could have just helped Bambietta out, but, you know, well, we kind of find out why she did it now. Basically, Giselle says that Bambietta's expression got her turned on, essentially, got her, as she puts it in the manga panda, wet, rather crudely. And I gotta say, I think Kubo's pushing what he's allowed to get away with Giselle. At the end of the day, shonen is meant to be like aimed at a teen demographic. I'm just sitting here laughing to myself at how they're possibly going to translate this into the Viz manga. But yeah, so Giselle's like, I got really turned on by Bambietta's dying face, which is creepy. Manga Stream says that she uses Boku, which confirms that Giselle is in fact a dude. I don't think that's necessarily the case though, because I think there are more girls that use Boku as their own pronoun. I'm pretty sure Lil Toto uses it occasionally, unless we find out that she's a dude later on as well. But anyway, for the moment, I'm still sticking with Giselle being a girl and Yumichika just trying to rile her up, because Yumichika says, "I think you meant to say you get an erection," and then, you know, Giselle looks at her kind of him evilly. You know, I think it's pissing her off. I think that's what he's doing. But anyway, Giselle then slashes her finger, gets a bit of blood, and she says, you know, with Shinigami, I just have to put my blood on you and you become my zombie. So she goes to do that, and just as when it looks like she's won, someone appears behind her and says, you know, you have the ability to turn your opponents into zombies, and it's like this beacon of light, and it's Mayuri in his sun costume. And he's like, you've definitely piqued my interest. Gotta love Mayuri. Mayuri's a great character. And Giselle is squinting, and she's like, it's so bright, I can't really see you. And who are you supposed to be? And that's the end of the chapter. So Mayuri versus Giselle is a matchup I wasn't really expecting. It's cool though, it's two freaks versing each other. Mayuri's probably gonna win. I don't want to say I don't see how Mayuri could defeat the zombies, because Giselle's already gonna have Bambietta, and then I don't know why she wouldn't be able to zombify Yumichika or Ikkaku or both of them, because they're lying right there. So she could literally just go, whoa, and then they're zombified. But I'm sure Mayuri will find some way around it. I'm not entirely sure why he's still wearing his light costume, because it's not like there are shadows around at the moment. And frankly, we haven't exactly seen any Quincy slipping in and out of shadows, so I don't know. Whatever. But it should be an interesting matchup all the same. I'm still wondering if these Sternritter are actually going to survive this bit, because, you know, if all the Sternritter in these fights die now, then we really are getting close to the end of the arc, I think. But, you know, for the time being, we've still got these battles to go. I thought it was a good chapter. I actually thought there was quite a lot of content for a Bleach chapter. It felt like it was going on for quite a while. There was quite a lot of time spent on the comedy, which, you know, is fine. Could have done with maybe a page less. Yoruichi returning was always cool. Or Urahara dropping that little thing about the energy was interesting, but I think the ramifications of that are not really known just yet. So overall, it was a good chapter. And it just felt like there was quite a lot going on, actually. And the comedy was funny as well, which is always helpful. Mayuri versus Giselle is going to be interesting, and Giselle and Bambietta versus Ikkaku and Yumichika had some really nice choreography. Whether Ikkaku and Yumichika will get back up and maybe show something new, I don't know. It looks like they have been pretty wasted. I think Yumichika was kind of conscious. I don't know about Ikkaku, though. But that's it, guys, for this week. My panel of the week is actually going to probably be the one where Yumichika uses the new Kido, and you see, like, from his perspective, almost, the rocks flying up, Ikkaku fighting Bambietta. That's a really nice panel. Really dynamic. So I'm going to give this chapter an 8 out of 10, guys. It's cool to finally get away from the Headless Star. The Shooting Star Project, obviously referencing the Kukaku Crane Cannon. But I don't know what Old and New Truths is all about. I actually have no idea what that's supposed to mean. But yeah, that's kind of it, guys. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of this chapter. Do you like the matchup of Mayuri and Giselle? How do you think it's going to end? And I tell you what, I almost guarantee she zombifies his Bankai, and then he just, you know, he's like, my Bankai's not allowed to turn on me, and it's Zale all over again. Maybe. But that's kind of it, guys. Don't forget to subscribe and give the video a thumbs up. That'd be great. But I'll catch you next time. See ya.